Unde a trecut? Știi că sunt teorii că câmpul electromagnetic se schimbă al Pământului și simțim efectiv că timpul trece mai rapid. Dar să știi că depinde și de ce viață ai. Eu am fost bolnav, am avut febră dengue luată din Maldive. Băi, deci când stai în spital într-un pat, îți dai seama cât de greu trece timpul de fapt dacă nu ai activitate. Deci trecea, zici că trăiam 2 zile într-una. M-a înțepat în sânsoare infestat, probabil și... Nu știu să vă cum e. Prima dată. Mergem în Grecia vara. Am vrut să vedem iarna unde-i frumos. 2 băieți. 13 și 7. Este dumneavoastră. Mulțumesc. Da, mai multe. Da. Am fost în Grecia pe 15 insule și în o grămadă de locuri. Iubesc Grecia. Cred că pe insule mi-a plăcut. Pe Zakynthos, pe Creta, pe... Nu mai știu să-ți le zic acum, sunt multe insule. Anul ăsta mergem în Naxos, care asociatul meu e grec. Naxos este o insulă absolut superbă și nu e așa comercială. Da. N-ai. Trebuie să iei feriul din acolo. Da. 4 ore, 4-5 ore. Arată scary. A 7-a. Da. Noi stăm 10 minute. Sunt 5 sau
Da, merge.
Creează panică. Da. Ciolac trebuia să plece în decembrie. Prost moment acum.
Câți oameni ai? 600? Aici? 700. Salut, sunteți la un ZF Live special. Astăzi discutăm despre piața centrelor de date din România. Este un eveniment la care noi suntem participanți aici și organizăm acest ZF Live special împreună cu Tema Energy, compania care organizează acest eveniment. Alături de mine este Mihai Manole, CEO Tema Energy. Ne vedem încă o dată la Data Center Forum, da? Tu ești, ca să spunem așa, cel mai important jucător pe piața de centre de date din România, de construcții de centre de date din România, față de anul trecut, când tot aici n-am văzut, tot în aceeași perioadă. Ce s-a schimbat, Mihai, pe piață?
Salut, Cristian, ne bucurăm că sunteți alături de noi și anul acesta. Suntem la a 7-a ediție a evenimentului. S-au schimbat destul de multe și în bine.
100 de participanți în plus. Anul trecut ai avut 600, anul ăsta 700.
Exact,
nu?
Avem peste 700 de participanți fizic, plus cei care urmăresc live evenimentul. Este clar că este un interes în creștere și mulțumim și Ziarului Financiar pentru tratarea tot mai serioasă a subiectului data center, care e un subiect interesant și serios pentru economia oricărei țări în momentul de față. Cred că asta s-a schimbat knowledge-ul în ceea ce privește oportunitatea creată de data centere pentru o investiție, pentru o economie locală. S-a schimbat, să spunem, notorietatea subiectului în piață și s-a accelerat dezvoltarea, investiția în dezvoltări de data centere.
Bun, dar față de data trecută, nu știu, ai vreo statistică dacă s-a construit vreun data center? Unul mare sigur nu s-a construit, da? Noi discutam anul trecut că ar putea să vină investitori mari, da? Nu prea au venit, ok. Știu că sunt discuții, adică discuțiile continuă, poate părțile nu neapărat că n-au ajuns la o înțelegere, dar îți trebuie trebuie să împlinești multe condiții ca să ai un alt data center mare, nu știu, pe care să-l deschide Google, Microsoft, Amazon, oricare dintre ele. Trebuie să ai energie, infrastructură, energie în bandă, nu?
Exact.
Ceea ce este puțin
și
mai
dacă
greu
se poate cât mai verde, cât mai sustenabilă.
Cât mai verde și cât mai ieftină.
Și cât mai ieftină. Sunt lucruri la care să spunem că România nu stă remarcabil în momentul ăsta, dar cu siguranță pașii făcuți în dezvoltările de regenerabile din ultimii ani, vorbim de solar, fotovoltaic, small nuclear reactors, extinderea grupurilor de la Cernavodă, centralele gas to power de la Mintia, de la Ernut, toate acestea ridică interes, atrag interes pentru investitorii străini, pentru că semnalizează clar, pe de o parte, producția la masă mare a energiei și, pe de altă parte, previzionează o scădere a prețului energiei în următorii ani.
Bun, față de anul trecut, ce ați făcut voi? Ce a făcut Tema Energy?
Ce pot să spun este că anul trecut am construit între 3 și 4 MW de data centere. Cele mai multe dintre ele au fost de tip guvernamental sau on-premise pentru clienți care își folosesc propria infrastructură de date. Este o cifră relevantă, nu este o infrastructură la cheie, dar este o infrastructură capabilă să suporte între 3 și 4 MW cu faze inițiale la fiecare. Au fost investiții mari anul trecut în...
Un megawatt cât înseamnă în data center?
Un megawatt complet echipat la cheie de infrastructură de data center fără partea de IT înseamnă în medie, cel puțin în partea aceasta a Europei, între 7 și 9 milioane de euro.
Ok, deci tu ai avut proiecte 3, 4, 20...
20-30 de milioane de euro, unele sunt încă în curs.
Bun, pipeline-ul de acum?
Pipeline-ul de acum arată foarte bine, avem un pipeline de proiecte de între 50 și 100 de milioane de euro.
100 de milioane de euro?
Da,
pipeline
dar
mare?
Integral în data center. Noi suntem o companie de inginerie și de integrare de soluții. Data centerele sunt partea cea mai cu cel mai mare sex appeal, să spunem, din portofoliul nostru, dar noi facem și soluții de software și automatizare, facem și sisteme de climatizare, de electroalimentare continuă pentru industrie, de exemplu, sau pentru consumatori critici. Facem sisteme de suport pentru infrastructură feroviară, care știm că se reconstruiește și se reface în România. Așadar, toate aceste proiecte cumulează până la 100 de milioane de euro ca și pipeline și un pipeline pe următorii 2-3 ani de zile. dar cu siguranță arată maturizarea pieței de inginerie și de instalații în general din România.
Mai avem ingineri? Pentru că toată lumea se plânge că nu mai există ingineri. Tu ai un pipeline de ingineri. Aici, această construcție te bazezi pe ingineri, bineînțeles și pe ceilalți, da? Tu cum stai din acest punct de vedere?
Noi avem și proprii noștri ingineri, avem un departament tehnic de 15 persoane care sunt ingineri specializați pe climatizare, pe electroalimentare, pe stingere incendii, pe networking, care fac cel mai mult proiectarea, consultanța și proiectarea contractelor noastre de data center și alte specialități. Dar avem și un ecosistem de companii specializate, antreprenoriale, mici și medii, care lucrează pentru noi în aceste proiecte ca subcontractori specializați pe instalații electrice, pe securitate fizică și așa mai departe. Din punct de vedere al recrutării oamenilor, da, este un challenge să găsești suficienți ingineri și chiar și când îi găsești, de multe ori ești nevoit să investești mult în dezvoltarea lor, pentru că nișa asta de data center este foarte puțin cunoscută, presupune un knowledge foarte specific, dar pe de altă parte există suficiente resurse din punct de vedere companii antreprenoriale specializate care să livreze proiecte de mare calitate.
De ce vin atât de mulți oameni aici la Data Center Forum? Eu am fost foarte mirat anul trecut, 600 de oameni, nu? 700 anul ăsta, dincolo de partea de expozanți, ai speakeri, oamenii vin, ce vor să afle?
Este un trend, Cristian, ăsta al inteligenței artificiale și al data center-urilor care susțin inteligența artificială este nu doar un miraj, este un lucru care se întâmplă. Investițiile în zona asta, cum ai văzut și în SUA și în Uniunea Europeană și în China și în UK, se întâmplă la o scală foarte largă și nu au cum să ne ocolească. Faptul că dimensiunea lor este mult mai mică în România nu înseamnă că ele nu se întâmplă. Deja avem foarte multe data centere de dimensiuni de 1, 2, 3 MW care sunt în mare parte de tip cloud cu rack-uri normale de 5-10 kW pe rack, dar care deja au amenajate zone hibride care pot să găzduiască rack-uri IT de 20, 30, 50 de MW, cum este Cluster Power la Craiova, care are săli dedicate inteligenței artificiale. Fiind așadar un fenomen de mare interes, vedem și un apetit mare din partea investitorilor, din partea specialiștilor, din partea consultanților, avocaților, constructorilor, instalatorilor. E un ecosistem foarte mare implicat în această dezvoltare.
Pentru următorul an, nu? Sperăm să ne vedem peste un an. Care ar fi, nu știu, ținta ta în care poți să spui, uite, dincolo de proiectele pe care tu le ai, da? Șansele de a avea un data center mare și nu știu cum definești tu mare, 50 de MW, 100 de MW, ce înseamnă un data center mare?
Data center mare este de la 10 MW în sus.
10 MW?
Da.
Ok. Șansele de a avea data center de peste 10 MW?
Avem o șansă
înseamnă
foarte
10
bună.
ori 7 ori 8, deci înseamnă 80 de milioane de euro, o investiție.
Da, avem șanse foarte mari. De ce? Pentru că avem deja 3 proiecte în București care sunt ready to build, sunt gata de construit și fiecare au 30 de MW IT putere și sunt la nivelul de autorizație de construcție obținută, putere disponibilă și aprobată.
Da.
Avem un proiect de 200 de MW care se pregătește de stadiu de ready to build, este în curs de definitivare în vestul Bucureștiului.
200 de MW?
200 de MW.
200 ori 7 înseamnă 1,4 miliarde.
Da, doar infrastructura, fără IT. Așadar, se pregătesc proiecte într-un...
Cine pune pe masă...
Fonduri de investiții în mare parte sau jucătorii clasici din zona de real estate, din zona de...
Adică tu spui așa, în zona Bucureștiului, da, lângă București, este ready to build un data center de 200 de MW.
Va fi
indiferent.
Gata de construit, dar avem deja peste 100 de MW ready to build în București, în Pipera, în vest, în est, în diverse zone ale orașului.
Și calculul meu este corect, 200 de MW ori 7 milioane de euro.
E foarte corect.
Da. E 1,4 miliarde, deci tu ai un proiect pe masă de 1,4 miliarde de euro.
De la 1,4 în sus, da, 1,4 plus. Acum, un astfel
este
de proiect
se
se construiește în etape. Adică etapele pot să fie 20 de MW per stage, 30 de MW, depinde de client, de cerere.
Deci tu n-ai
vorbim de puterea disponibilă.
Bun, până la urmă un data center e un parc logistic, nu? Adică construiești ceva, vine un client, mai vine al doilea client, mai construiești
Da,
încă
este
o
un
hală.
asset de real estate cu această specificitate deosebită, de putere foarte mare și de particularități de instalații, de runtime 100% de...
Deci tu vei avea de lucru cel puțin pentru următorii ani, nu?
Cu siguranță, noi suntem optimiști pe industria noastră și cu condiția, sigur, să avem un climat politic și economic cât de cât stabil și predictibil.
Îl vedem după 18 mai, ce va rezulta.
Da?
Dar crezi că influențează atât de mult, nu știu, investiție? Că până la urmă inteligența artificială este aici. Tu trebuie să dai putere energetică.
Cred că poate influența, dar în sensul de temporizare a proiectelor. Nu cred că aceste proiecte nu se vor face. Sunt convins că se vor face, dar cu cât imaginea noastră politică și economică și credibilitatea României este mai bună în exterior, cu atât aceste proiecte se vor întâmpla mai curând sau mai puțin curând.
Bine, Mihai, mulțumesc frumos pentru acest lucru. Pentru acest ZF Live special vreau să spun că vom avea 6 invitați. L-am avut pe Mihai Manole, CEO tema Energy. Urmează următorul invitat aici, o discuție tot despre data centere, Igor Gârdici, Regional Director Central Europe at Vertiv. Igor trebuie să intre aici. Igor, thank you very much for your presence. How are you? How are you? How are you? Cristian. Why are you? Yeah.
Test 1, 2.
Why are you here?
Why I'm here?
Yeah, at this forum.
Yeah, so I'm here.
What is your interest?
What is my motivation to be here? Yeah. So first of all, just few words about me. So my name is Igor.
And what is Vertiv?
Okay, a few words about me and my company. I mean, the company I work for.
Yeah.
So Vertiv is a US-based company. So
US.
Yeah, it's a US-based company. Maybe some of the people knows this company previously. The name was Emerson Network Power.
Okay.
Yeah? So 2016 we became Vertiv. So our major industry is the data center industry. So for the obvious reasons we participate in this event because we are in data center industry and it's the data center forum, the biggest data center event in Romania. Yeah. Personally, my role is in Vertiv Central Europe Regional Director. So Romania is part of the region Central Europe.
Part of the group.
Yeah, part of the Central Europe region. I'm heading the region. So automatically I participate here, and of course...
is the first time or the second time?
No, the Vertiv is actually participating in this event from early beginning, when Mihail and the team, when they established this great event. So the company participates. Me personally, I'm a first time here. Yeah, and I'm really happy and really positively surprised what I see here.
How is the market of data center here in Romania? From your point of view?
Yeah, so I don't know how much you are familiar with the data center market generally. So let me just short walk regarding Europe. Yeah. So we have markets that are known as a FLAP D. So Frankfurt, London, Amsterdam, Paris, Dublin.
Yeah.
Okay, these are the major hubs. Then there is a group of countries/cities that we call Tier 2.
Tier 2.
Yeah, so if we talk a Central Eastern Europe region, Warsaw,
okay.
Milano, Italy, then Barcelona, Madrid, Berlin. So these are, let's say,
the second
wave of data center hubs. And then actually, me personally, I see in the future, like if I may call Tier 3 or maybe additions to Tier 2, would be the Romanian, definitely.
Romanian.
So this is what I expect. So currently Romania is still not there.
What is the assets for Romania?
Look, first of all, Romania is a good market. Romania is what, 16, 20 million people?
Yeah.
Ish. Yeah. So that's the very good foundation, the first one. Second of all, you have a good education here, so you have people, they know the topics, not only the data center topics, it's an ecosystem.
Yeah, and IT people are very good.
So, exactly. So this is the second prerequisites. And third one, also very important one, you already have a pretty good capacity foundation here in Romania on data centers, and even the know-how. So people here, so all those participants here, they know for sure.
They know something about this subject.
Not something, they know really quite a lot. The only thing that is missing is a demand or some foreign investment that would build here something bigger. Not only maybe for Romania, but maybe for the area or sub-area countries neighboring to Romania, that Romania, as considering the power of the country, can definitely support and supply.
To attract a big data center, Mihai told me that a big data center means from 10 megawatts. Okay.
Yeah.
What is, from your point of view, the capacity in Romania? Do you think we can establish here someone from the world, American company, I don't know, German company, to establish here 100 megawatts data center?
You can establish here even 1 gigawatt. The issue is, do you have enough power capacity?
Yeah, this is the question.
This is the $1 million question.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You heard about the company NVIDIA?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, of course. So Jensen, the CEO.
Yeah.
So they recently.
He's coming here in Bucharest.
No, but he's coming in Europe actually in June.
In June.
For something else, yeah. So these guys, so they were saying during the GTC conference in US. So he said personally that who will have a power, that one has a certain advantage and the great assets. So definitely power will be important. Why will be important? So before, you mentioned 10 megawatt data center. Yes, this is still in Europe, especially for the countries in the Central Eastern Europe region, like Romania, is considered big. Yeah. But when you start talking and thinking about the AI, artificial intelligence applications, where you have 100 kilowatt per rack, just to remind you, currently you have an average 2-3 kilowatt per rack.
Yes.
So now you multiply times 20, okay? So suddenly you have 132 kilowatt per rack, or even the latest tests are ongoing with 300 kilowatt per rack. So you will realize that 10 megawatt data center can fit in a room, let's say, times this where you and me are right now, yeah? So that means that in terms of footprint, you will not need too many or too much space. So you have this available, right? Right.
Yeah.
In terms of the challenges on the cooling side, so in order to cool that,
have water.
You will need water. Is not the issue here at all.
No?
Not at all. You have a liquid cooling, and liquid cooling is not water cooling. Liquid cooling is a different specialized liquid to cool those servers. Okay, but what will remain a challenge is the power.
The power.
Do you
cheap
have
power?
Not necessarily cheap.
Yeah.
Stable, good power. So if you have a 100 megawatt capacity site, I think in Romania, and if you speak with some foreign US based investors, I think you are on a good path.
Do you think you mentioned that you work for an American company? They are interesting here in let's say Romanian. In the new context.
Let me tell you. So I see that Vertiv is a producer of data center critical infrastructure. So we produce the equipment who is powering and cooling and accommodate the servers. Yeah. So we are infrastructural provider. Yeah. So we are global player present around the whole world. Yeah. So we have an office here, big one in Cluj. In Cluj? Yeah, in Cluj is a big one. 400 people is there.
400 people?
Yeah, and this is our central services for EMEA. So that's basically site cover the Europe, Middle East, and Africa in terms of shared services. We have also office here in Bucharest, which is our sales and service.
For all the region?
For the Romania.
Only for Romania?
In Bucharest is a sales team for Romania and Moldova. In Cluj is the team that is covering all these internal processes, shared services, as we call it, for the EMEA level.
Why Cluj? Cluj is very crowded market.
Cluj, first of all, we think that it's historically. We had there before also the location with a couple of hundreds people. It has a good university, has a good source today where the power is, in talents, in young talents. Yeah. So I believe that, and that's Romanian power, if you ask me. I'm coming, by the way, originally I'm from Croatia. So we are 4 times smaller than Romania. Yeah. So we are 4 million, Romania is 16 million. So I see and I know what does it mean when you have a resources, the right one, talented, available.
Yeah, what is, let's say, the weaknesses of the Romanian?
Weaknesses?
Yeah,
I don't see I wouldn't say there is any weakness. So we all of countries in this part of Europe, we have a certain legacy and history, right? So due to that and that way of history, maybe we are, if we look on West, we might feel that we lacking behind, right? Which honestly, I don't share that opinion. I see that the time of Eastern Europe is coming. And I bet that investments are also, because currently in this industry at least, the investments are in West Europe. So I see the need for investments here as well. So simply it's a nature. So Romanian market and Romanian industry on data center industry will definitely come and boost in upcoming years.
So we'll see next year, okay, with what ambition?
If I have to guess, so I would say that yes, I would expect. Most probably, I'm not aware, but most probably there are some discussions already ongoing for some time. Yeah.
Yeah, we know there are some discussion, but I think the fiscal package put on the table by the Romanian authority, it's not enough.
It's a business case.
Yeah, of course.
At the end of the day, money talks.
Yeah. And the second, it's about the power of the energy, because we have a lot of renewable energy, solar, wind, but you need in data center a stable energy.
Not necessarily stable. You can overcome this with the better energy storage systems. Yeah, but yes, you will need the energy. That's a fundamental energy. Fundamental prerequisites. But look, let me reply you on this. You know about the AI,
yes,
right? So
need a lot of capacity.
Wait a sec. AI will dramatically change. People are not aware. Will dramatically change the way how we work, how we live. Do you agree with me?
Yes, of course.
So, and
we saw that.
If the AI, many people are actually not aware at all, to be honest, yet. If the AI capacity is somewhere else, and somewhere else dictate you as a country, the AI needs whatever, name it. I believe that the countries, and this is already happening on the EU level, currently with universities and some smaller investments here and there, but I do expect that in the future countries, governments will be aware what does it mean not having own AI.
Okay.
So for their own needs, to create own agents, to create the own tools, to create own AI physical, which is in the future robots.
Yeah.
So I would bet, I dare to say that many countries, and Romania is among those that will invest in AI.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not sure that this will be cloud-based and pulled from abroad, but it should be a certain capacity definitely in the country.
Igor, thank you very much for your presence here.
Thanks.
We'll go to the next guest, George Ditsanos. Okay.
Yeah, that's my
George
from Schneider.
Okay, the microphone.
Here we go. I hand over the mic.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Good luck. See you later,
See you
my
later.
friend. Ciao.
George, hello.
Hello.
I'm Cristian.
Hi, Cristian. Nice to meet you.
What is your favorite team?
In Greece or in Romania? Or in Romania?
In Greece.
Olympiacos, of course.
Olympiacos. You know, we have Răzvan Lucescu and PAOK.
Yeah, I know. Very good friend, Răzvan.
Of you?
No, not of me. I have seen him sometimes in the airport. So we discuss for football. I like
the football.
I like.
So you are Vice President, Secure Power Data Center Business at CE at Schneider Electric. Yeah?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is the market of data center?
Look, we see recently a big increase, and this is triggered mainly from several factors like digitization, like cloud application, like AI. Also, we start to see a lot of application coming also for AI. So it is a booming market, very fast moving, much faster than
in the region or especially in Romania. If I remember correctly, Greece attracts some investment from Microsoft, Google, billion.
Yes,
okay.
We see not only in Greece and Poland and Israel, which are, let's say, the fast-moving countries based on the hyperscalers, but we see also in other countries like Romania, like Hungary, like Serbia, we see a lot of investment happens. Still, they are not on a way that hyperscalers will invest, but definitely will come. and this will trigger a lot different landscape in the market.
Okay, you work for Schneider Electric. You cover this region. In this ecosystem, what is your part of data center?
Yes, we are offering all the physical infrastructure and the software.
Yeah, the physical and the software.
And the software, and of course several services from design up to execution. So we are offering all the equipment. We are the only one vendor that can support from medium voltage up to the last, let's say, socket in a data center. So we are the only vendor who has the full solution. And besides to the hardware that we can integrate inside software, and of course several services as we said before.
Do you have some order here, some jobs here?
Yes, Schneider Electric is looking Romania very, very serious. It's very big hub for us because we have also the customer care center that covers all Europe. So
here in Romania?
In Bucharest, yes.
In Bucharest, okay.
So we have
how many people?
Around 400 people they are working in the operation. So they are covering the whole Europe in the customer care center of Schneider for all the division, for all the equipment. So we also have a big sales operation with several people addressing several markets like industry, like buildings, like data center also. So we are seeing Romania as a big investment for us and a market that we would like to be present and have a good market positioning.
From your, let's say, from your knowledge, for your feeling, do you think, let's say, in 2 years, 5 years, Romania will be a hub for the data center to cover, let's say, the region? Do you think we'll have enough, let's say, spaces, water, energy to attract and to put the table big data center?
Yes, right now we see you touch some challenges that everybody has in all the countries. So the power, the space, the water is everything that everything everybody is discussing. Is very skeptical on where they find the available space, the available water, the available power. But we see that Romania has this availability. Of course, the regulator...
We have a lot of land.
Yes, true.
Near Bucharest.
Yes. And not only Bucharest, there's in the whole country. So we are checking several opportunities, investments that people would like to invest because they have all these resources availability and available. So we are definitely sure that in the next 3 to 5 years, because it's a digital path from Greece up to, let's say, to the Baltics.
Yes.
So we see that will happen a lot of investment because right now all the investments are going to flap to traditional markets, let's say Frankfurt, London, Amsterdam, Paris. But there are still big opportunities in the Eastern Europe where is emerging market and definitely will trigger a lot. So we are very confident that it will come also here.
Okay. Do you think Romania will compete with Poland or Romania will be a hub for Balkan region?
Definitely, of course, as you say, correct. Maybe it's a competition, but it's inside the, let's say, European Union that all the countries would like to take a stake. But Poland is on a mature level, so and Romania is emerging. So definitely will run faster than countries that are already mature, like for example Poland or like Greece or like Israel. So we are expecting a lot to happen and it will be very fast.
When an investor will come here, it's coming for the local market, for the Romanian market to attract demand here, clients here, or for the outside, let's say?
Look, here it's the biggest, let's say, challenge is the latency. By latency, just for everybody to understand, is the speed. So can you imagine? The speed of data execution.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Imagine.
I think we are very good on this.
You are very good, but you need also proximity. You need big data center locally. Imagine tomorrow we will have autonomous cars. So 1 millisecond is very crucial in case the car takes the decision to go right or left. So you need big data center to be local here. So it will serve the local market, definitely, and it will be an interconnection point for all the eastern path of the data.
Somebody told us at our energy conference that in terms of, let's say, GPT, the new trend, you need 8 times more energy than to search of the Google. It is true?
It is true, yes. All the AI factories, they need a much bigger capacity. because they are running on models, LLM models that they need big data, they need big, let's say, computing power. So the power we see right now is multiplied by sometimes maybe even 10 or maybe 15 times the traditional data center. Yes, true.
Okay. What is the weakness of Romanian market? It's not enough demand right now. Okay.
Right now,
We don't have stable energy. Okay. We have very expensive energy. What is the...
for me, the biggest challenge that let's say Romania has right now is to attract a big hyperscaler. So in case one hyperscaler like Microsoft, like Google, like Amazon,
How come that Greek, attract hyperscaler? Because of the Mitsotakis, the Prime Minister of Greece?
Definitely the government created a good framework. But in the meantime, everything is, let's say, connected with a cable. So a big cable came through Middle East from Saudi Arabia, connected to Crete first and then to Greece. So this is a big interconnected cable like happened in Marseille. And this interconnects the east part of Asia, the north part of Africa also, with Europe. So it's the cable that triggers all this digital transformation and big revolution in Greece. The cable will not stop in Greece, of course, will continue.
Yeah.
We'll go.
Where? The cable
I'm
will
expecting
go
up
where?
to Poland. Up to Poland.
Up to Poland.
I'm
Through
expect-
Romanian?
Through Romania, of course.
Roma. Or for the Ukraine?
The Ukraine, let's hope that the war will finish. We
Yeah.
will have peace. And also Ukraine is a big hub. We are working also there. We have a big operation as Schneider Electric. And it's a big let's say, country that we are expecting the war to finish. And then we will have some investments that will, let's say, trigger a lot on digitization.
And the last question, in how many months you build 1 megawatts of data center? It's mean in months or years?
Look, right now in Greece we have made a big achievement in Crete. We managed to put 1 megawatt in less than 12 months.
Okay, less than 12 months.
So
Okay.
of course it's prefabricated solution made by Schneider Electric A to Z. So we deliver a big solution to the client in DLR, digital realty, in less than 12 months from design up to execution.
So Olympiacos won the title in
Yes.
Greece. Okay, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We'll go to the next
Thank you very,
guest.
very much. Have
Wes,
a nice day.
Thank you. Wes Cummins, founder and CEO of Applied Digital. Wes, how are you?
Nice to see you.
The same. So, what is Applied Digital? You are the chairman and CEO of this company?
Yeah, I'm founder, chairman, CEO of Applied Digital. We are a developer, operator, builder of what we term next generation data centers, large scale data centers built, purpose built for AI workloads.
And how come that you are here in Bucharest?
We're here.
What is the idea that you are present here?
So
What do you want to sell?
So we are interested in developing projects, and so right now we're doing in the U.S., but we're interested in developing the similar style of data center projects in Europe as well. And we've met several times with the team at TIMA, who's
with
putting on
Mihai.
the conference
Okay.
with Mihai. And so we're interested in doing additional projects here in Europe.
Do you have already some project here in Romanian?
We don't have anything yet here.
But
we're-
you
we're-
have some discussion?
We're having some discussions both
Okay.
in Romania and other countries in the Schengen.
Okay. How you see Romanian market?
The
Someone said that the Romanian is in the third tier. Okay, in this, let's say, in Europe.
Sure. I wouldn't put Romania in the third tier. Do you mean the third tier in Europe or third tier in the world?
In Europe.
In Europe, no.
Poland, Warsaw is in the second tier.
So I think Romania is an emerging market for Europe and an emerging market in the world. But again, being part of the Schengen in Europe, the reason we have interest in Europe, and so you kind of, in my mind, I categorize the world from an interest level in our mind. So the U.S. is most advanced. That's where we're doing all of our projects in North America now. Asia would be second as far as development of data center infrastructure for this type of application. Europe being third, We're operating in North America now, and then we likely won't operate in Asia, but we will in Europe. But I think this style of infrastructure is coming everywhere, and with data rules, right? Personal data, GDPR type rules. You need locations. If you want to operate, if you want to service people in Europe, you need locations in Europe to do that.
Do you think Romania will succeed to attract some big hyperscale data center?
So I think there's,
I'm a journalist.
So I think there's stepping stones to achieve that, right?
Yeah.
There's a willingness for development. Romania does have energy, which is key for this particular market. And then there's stepping stones of, Oracle, I believe, already has a significant presence here in Romania. But you start to build this type of infrastructure, then I think you can attract hyperscale type customers. And when you're talking hyperscalers in the world, so in the US, hyperscalers are focused in Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta, Apple. Those are your typical hyperscale customers, but they're going to need this type of infrastructure in Europe. And I think Romania is, because of the energy resources here, is a really prime country to build this.
So from your point of view, the main asset of Romanian to attract, let's say, big investor, maybe one or two hyperscale, is the energy, the stable energy.
So when you look at this market in particular, so even when I'm in the U.S., right, and we are developing our sites in the U.S., number one is electricity. So that's the number one item for us. So it depends on where we locate in the U.S. is electricity. Number two is fiber, network connectivity.
Fiber.
Yep. So you really need those two pieces. And then you go into, okay, if those exist, then what type of regulations do I have to deal with? What type of permitting? How business friendly is in the U.S., how business friendly is the state? And when you're looking at Europe, you have to do the same thing, right? How business friendly is the country that you're going to operate in? If it has the two pieces that I need, then the third step is how executable is it to build a project?
And Romanian, in this, if you mention these 3 points, okay, where is the position of Romania?
Has energy, has network connectivity, and then I believe there's a willingness from a regulatory perspective and a business environment perspective to foster this type of development inside of Romania. This is, so if you go back 25 years, 30 years, right, you have the internet happens, there's big build out for internet connectivity, fiber, and then you have mobile. So you have mobile connectivity, for cell phones starts, the late 80s through the 90s. But then you have this big explosion with mobile when you have the iPhone hit in 2007, right? So you have this big, evolution of technology. We're seeing that again. Countries can emerge as leaders if there's a willingness inside the country, if they have the resources, which Romania does, and if there's a willingness inside the country to foster this type of business development, there's opportunities that come along in technology cycles, and Romania could capture that.
But a big hyperscale come here in Romania to cover the Romanian market.
To cover Europe, the EU.
To cover Europe, okay.
Yes.
Okay, not Romanian market, because in business you need clients, okay.
Yeah.
And company come here and said, look, I will come here if I find clients.
Yeah.
Internal clients, not outside.
But you're coming here to cover Europe, not Romania necessarily. You cover Romania, but it's like, for me, I'm developing a large data center campus in North Dakota, which is a very small population state in the U.S. It's not a traditional data center market in the U.S. We're making it into that.
How big is your data center in North Dakota?
We're building a campus right now. From starting this year through 2027 will be 400 megawatts of critical IT load. It'll be one of the
400?
400.
It's huge.
It's massive, yes.
And in terms of the energy, I read some article that Microsoft tried to revive nuclear plant.
That's correct.
Yeah, and to revive and to put out a billion.
Correct. So from an energy perspective, so our site in North Dakota, we co-located with a substation that has approximately 2 gigawatts of wind power that feed into that substation. So it's very renewables focused. And there's a way that we've gone about in the U.S. for finding stranded power that's not used. So it's electricity that often gets generated but unused. But there's a window to consume those areas. We're doing that. And then there's kind of stranded nat gas. But if you want low carbon or zero carbon base load for the future, nuclear is really the only option to get base load for zero carbon. And so there's a big focus on nuclear, whether it's reviving old plants or small modulars, right? Like the new technology is small modular reactors, SMRs. But there's a big focus on that in the U.S. and really around the world.
And the last question, how you see Romania right now in this context?
There's a window of opportunity for Romania. If they have the two key ingredients that we look for in locations, and now if there's a willingness for development, for fostering a business environment for this type of development, I think there's a really big opportunity for companies like mine in Romania and for Romania at large.
Okay, Wes, thank you very much for your presence here.
Thank you for having me.
All the best. We'll go, mergem către următorul invitat, Mark Acton, Data Center Consulting, co-author of the EU Data Center Code of Conduct. Let's see where is Mark. Okay, we'll change. Auzim foarte multe lucruri pozitive în acest moment, foarte multe posibile investiții. Avem nevoie, sau investitorii au nevoie de energie stabilă. Nuclearul aduce energia cea mai stabilă. În acest business este nevoie și de pământ, sau unde să pui aici, ai nevoie de IT. Da? Dar la final ai nevoie de clienți, fie că sunt clienți din România, fie că sunt clienți din străinătate. Să vedem unde este Marc în acest moment. Mai avem doi invitați, Marc Anton și Alexandros Bekarakis. Ok. Deci, ca să vă fac un rezumat a acestei ediția cu numărul 7 la Data Center Forum, oamenii se întâlnesc aici, toți actorii, 600-700 de participanți, 22 de expozanți, 28 de speaker, pentru a discuta despre ceea ce ar putea să fie următorul val de investiții. Această inteligență artificială care dă peste noi are nevoie de energie. Spre exemplu, în ChatGPT, ca să cauți în ChatGPT, ai nevoie de 8 ori o energie mai mare decât dacă faci un search de Google. Toată lumea în acest moment se uită după zone, după energie, se unde poate să-și pună aceste data centere. Cum am auzit, sunt și discuții cu autoritățile pentru aceste pachete fiscale, care în acest business sunt extrem de importante. Mai avem în 5 secunde vine și Mark. Mark, hello, I'm Christian.
Hello, welcome.
I'm
Sorry,
moderator.
you've been trying to find me. I apologize.
Yeah. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
So, you are consultant and co-author of EU Data Center Code of Conduct. Okay.
Yes, I've been an author and the editor of the Code of Conduct for more than 10 years, 13 years.
You are British?
I'm British, yes.
British. What is your favorite team?
Team?
Football team.
I'm not a football fan.
No.
I used to play rugby.
Rugby.
So I guess my favourite team would probably have to be the team I used to play for, which was Derby. So, but not football, I'm afraid. I know nothing about football.
What do you do here in Bucharest? What is your presence here? For what?
So I'm here to hopefully help promote two things. One is, I think, an understanding of the sector in general. and I hope a little bit to promote the Romanian data center industry as well. Romania is an emerging nation in terms of data center installation and capacity. Not as big as some of the nations in Northern Europe and sort of Western Europe, but certainly Southeast Europe is becoming a real data center hub, and there's a real increased interest in coming to this part of the world.
From your point of view, what is the main asset for Romanian, and of course the weakness?
Yeah, I think for data centers, it's power. It's power. We need power, and one of the great things about Romania is there's a good deal of renewable power available. So that's really.
But renewable power is not stable, and we don't have enough capacity in storage.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing. With renewable power, you're absolutely right. It's intermittent. So we need to make sure that we are able to stabilize that intermittent power. Whether that's through the grid or, there are other mechanisms, best storage, large battery storage, etc. But I think the other thing to remember is for data centers, it doesn't necessarily have to be dependent on the delivery network. There's stranded capacity here in Romania, as there is in other countries, but the stranded capacity here that data centers could take advantage of. They don't necessarily need to go through the utility grid. They don't necessarily need to, be connected directly to a network. So I think that's one advantage. Communications networks are the other vital ingredient. So you need to have power, you need to have communications networks.
You need fiber.
Fiber, exactly.
Yeah.
And high-speed fiber, reliable fiber, multiple carriers potentially. So once you've got the power and the fiber, then I think the third ingredient to the recipe is policy. You need to
fiscal facility, or what kind of policy?
Well, the policy from government, from regional government. So I think every nation on the planet wants a strong digital economy. It's vital in this age. To do that, you've got to have a strong digital infrastructure, which includes data centers. It also includes network as well. So I think anything that the government to do to encourage a policy that favors investment in digital infrastructure, including data centers, is really important. If you look at the way the Irish developed the Celtic Tiger 40 years ago or so.
It's amazing.
Yeah. They did a fantastic job. They got massive amounts of inward investment.
Yeah, this was 30 years ago.
Absolutely fantastic. But now, having got all that investment from data center operators, government policy has not supported the investment in the grid to allow the data centers to continue to grow. So now, big data center operators, even though they're already established in Ireland, they're having to move out to look elsewhere.
But do you think the state have enough money to, let's say, to build grid and to power the grid?
I think there are other options, not just the grid. I mean, here in Romania, you've got NewScale, the SMR people who are looking at, obviously, small modular reactors. There are other alternatives to using the grids. And I think increasingly, data center operators, particularly large capacity data center operators, those who are looking at the so-called AI factories, they are looking potentially at going off-grid, having their own private wire supply, behind-the-meter supply.
Yeah, not to be in the system.
Exactly.
But in this case, do you think you can not be effective by, let's say, the Spain blackout?
Well,
because the people are very afraid.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think you're absolutely right. People are concerned about grid stability, but if you're behind the wire, you're not dependent on the grid. Then of course you're not affected by grid instability. It might be more expensive from a capital perspective to build your own infrastructure to become independent of the grid and to have your own private wire. But of course you've got a guarantee of stability. On the other hand, depending on the kind of data center you've got, you might actually be a benefit to the grid. If you're a large data center operator with a very, very stable demand, you can actually benefit the grid by providing a very consistent load. AI data centers, though, particularly the large, the AI factories, they can actually fluctuate in terms of load quite a lot, and that can lead to grid instability.
Yeah.
So the kind of data center that you've got can actually, in some cases, benefit the grid. In some cases, probably cause problems. And for those big AI factories, the investment involved is so high that it probably warrants building your own private supply or taking advantage of stranded capacity from renewables and building best storage or something like that.
And the last question, what is the weaknesses of Romania? I understand we have power.
Yeah.
Okay, we have fiber.
Yeah.
Okay, we have people.
Yeah.
Okay, we have land.
I-
But
I just think you're probably just a bit of an unknown quantity. I don't think there's no problem. It's just that maybe people aren't necessarily aware that you have all these opportunities, and if you look at what other nations have done, they've got bodies that go out to all the data center conferences,
Yeah.
and they encourage inward investment. So you've got like Host in Ireland, or you've got people like Vattenfall working in the Nordics, and what they're doing is they're going out and they're promoting the particular country or region.
so we need to have a team. Need to go in the world, all of the conference, all of the meetings to promote Romanian as a hub
Absolutely.
for data center.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you need to go out there. You need to promote it, and I think there's having a body that does that for you. I think is really important. But I think the second thing is to have a clear government policy that supports investors coming into the country to build data centers. And that will inspire confidence in investors. So once there's a stated policy from the government to encourage that investment, then I think you'll get people taking far more interest.
The next book?
The next book?
Yeah, for you.
No, I leave writing books to others. I think I don't think I've got the determination or drive to write a book. My sister wrote a book recently. It nearly killed her. So it's not for me.
No, it's for you. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think next year we will be also here. Okay. A fost Marc Anton, Data Center Consulting, și mergem la ultimul invitat de astăzi, Alexandru Bekarakis, Managing Director Digital Realty Greece. Alexandros, thank you very much. I'm Cristian. How are you?
Hi, I'm Alexandros. Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, how is Greece doing? After the crisis, right now Greece is a star. Mitsotakis, I think, did a very good job. Okay, in data center, attract big investment. How is Romanian?
Look, let me say that I do believe that a lot of things are happening in all the region, and there is important opportunity for everyone. That includes certainly Greece, but also Romania. For me, Romania has a lot of untapped potential. It's a very stable market.
Stable market in terms of what? Because politically it's not anymore.
I understand that, but things come and go. But at the end, I think you have managed to grow. You have managed to increase the global trust at a significant level. Some endemic problems that all countries in the Balkans have, I think you are coping with it in a faster or better way, some of them at least. So I think the global trust that is needed for external or foreign investments is getting there. So I would be optimistic both for Greek market, which started earlier, because there was, but also for the Romania. Now, about Greece, I think we started earlier because there was a very strong extroversion from the current government the last 6 years. They focused specifically on the digital transformation of the country for citizens, but also as an economy.
Yeah, do you think a Greek government with Mitsotakis maybe will be a good example to take for Romanian? Look, because he did a lot of in terms of economic, very good things.
Look, I will not pretend that I know the specifics that are needed for Romania. So what I can tell you though is that the example is certainly a good one, in some cases a great one, where renewable energy and digital transformation were and still are two main focuses of the government. But it has not been just a theoretical focus, but they did the sales job.
The sales job, okay. In terms of Romanian, what is your speech here in Romanian at this conference?
Look, I think the important message is that we are in a connected world. We are in the same region. We grow together. As digital realty, we have, we are one of the biggest players across the world with more than 300 data centers in more than 50 metropolitan areas and all the continents of the world, meaning that we understand the global market. Now, in this regard, there was and there is still a lack of data center developments and connectivity on the eastern part of the Mediterranean.
Yes.
And submarine cables coming from Africa and Asia mainly, going to Europe. Till now, they are going to Marseille mainly, which is also our facilities there, and we have seen great success and growth, and we continue to grow them. But on the other hand, we also see the need for connectivity to increase, so the southern and eastern Europe can be better connected from latency, so from application, let's say, and the user experience perspective, and also as a resilience, as diversity for the cables that go to the Western Mediterranean, like in Marseille, Barcelona, or Genoa. So we have a big role to play as a region, and this is
as
my message here. It's not only about Greece. We opened up Crete. Crete is crucial because this is where the cables connect.
Yes.
But then it's Athens, but then it's also Sofia, then it's Bucharest. So we can take
So the
loop.
business proposition is to have a common cable, yeah?
It's not about having one cable, but about attracting multiple cables, so we can have multiple routes, so we can have increased resiliency for Europe and for our countries, but also
Yes.
for Europe
For
at
you.
large.
Okay.
So it's a European play. Let's say.
In terms of Romanian, if you look at the Romanian, from your point of view, what is the strength of Romanian? If you compare with another country, you mentioned that you have 300 data centers all over the world. So you know the framework, you know the infrastructure, you know the energy, power, fiber, and so on.
I think it's a market that is in its first stage of development, which means that there is a long way to go. Having said that, this means that there is significant opportunity. Now, for this to happen, we all need better connectivity, we need access to power, which I think you have a good mix here.
Yeah,
from what,
in terms
I
of the
heard.
power.
Yes. You need the political will
Okay.
that will ease, let's say, the regulatory environment, not in a bad way, but just to take out obstacles that delay, have easier licensing,
I know.
faster
The bureaucracy.
processes. Yes.
To have
Every
a faster,
country has this.
I know, to have a
But,
faster bureaucracy.
But you have the advantage to learn from the experience of other countries. So you can move fast on what industry needs and become an attractive environment for both internal and external investments on this area.
You are on all the continents you mentioned. Right now, what is the city best in terms of data center? I mean, have all the things.
Look, we should realize that technology, for better or for worse, typically starts from the US.
Yes.
At least in our Western world. So a lot of developments continue to be happening there. Now, in Europe, there was a second phase, many years back, that created what we call FLAP or FLAP-D markets. That's France, London, Amsterdam, Paris, and Dublin.
The first year.
Yes, the first-tier markets.
Poland
and this
in
will
the second
continue
year.
to grow
Okay.
because the organic growth alone, and they are well suited, well located in the middle of, let's say, the economic activity of Europe. And geopolitically, they have their advantages. But these are not the only markets that are growing. That's why we see now Greece, hopefully Romania. We are seeing Spain increasing its pace fast. Spain. Because at the end, there will be a trend, as it has been already with some of the hyperscalers, to go closer to their end users, closer to their customers. Because we always need to realize that we don't build data centers for ourselves.
Yeah.
We build data centers
For the customer. In terms of Romanian, the customer need to be Romanian. So the main customer need to be Romanian. I mean, the government, big companies, so on, or Romanian to have to be a hub for the whole of the Europe.
Look, all I'm saying is the same question I get for Greece. I do believe that Greece can become a regional hub, but regional, meaning we can help some countries around us till they develop their own. It's not a long-term thing. Same with Romania. It's not about all Europe, because all Europe has also other choices.
Okay.
But regional, I certainly believe Romania can play an important role.
Okay, so regional. To have to be a hub for the regional country or
one of the hubs. I mean, data center. We haven't. Sometimes we think in a win-lose situation. It's not like that. It's about resiliency. So you need multiple things to happen in the same markets. So you need to be able to cover the markets both from connectivity, from data center perspective, from multiple locations.
What is your...
Romania can certainly play a role in that, as is Greece, or Zagreb, or other countries.
What is the best data center you have? Not the capacity, I mean in terms of productivity, energy, cheap energy, cooling, fiber, and so on.
I will not give you an easy answer. No, there isn't. That's why I want to give you.
Because three names.
Look, you need to realize that not all data centers are created to serve a single purpose. There are different types of data centers, and people forget that sometimes. A hyperscale data center is a different thing for the big names, let's say for cloud providers. A multi-tenant carrier-neutral data center like the ones we built is a different thing. For this, you need to be closer to the people in the city, in the capital cities, with a lot of connectivity.
Okay.
So we have data centers in Frankfurt, London, Paris that are both, because they had the power and the need and the customers 10 years back, 15 years back, and they did that. Now, we are doing the same in Greece. I'm sure we will do the same, or somebody will do the same in Romania. And we will be the best data center for the purpose they build it. And every data center that's being built is better than the previous one, because the technology...
Of course. The technology is better and so on.
One thing that you do need, we all need to realize, is that there is another type of data center. The high density for compute intensive GPUs, AI, future quantum. These are different data centers from a technology point of view. So there will be a different choice every year, because every year the industry creates better data centers for all the categories, and it will depend on the category.
I think we will meet next year. Do you think until now Romania can, let's say, attract the hyperscale data center? I mean, only for announcement. Because
look, I don't represent any of them, so I cannot...
The rumors.
I don't know any rumors, and I wouldn't, rumors are a bad thing. All I'm saying is that if Romania creates the right environment and have the right approach, I think there will be, and there should be, discussions. And but I would say that this might look nice from a marketing perspective, but this shouldn't be the only approach for the Romanian data center industry. Because we also need carrier-neutral, multi-tenant data centers that will help the enterprises and SMEs of each country to be able to compete on a global level. And this, of course, hyperscalers have a big role in this, but it's not the only answer. You also need direct access to colocation to support the needs of any customer, any enterprise.
If we'll be, let's say, with the Prime Minister of Romania, what will be your question to him or to her?
What have you done? What are you planning to do? First, to increase the use of data center by the government.
Yeah,
because
and your recommendation to be a big regional player.
First of all, you need to put your money where your mouth is, as the Americans say.
I understand.
And be honest and drive by example. All I'm saying this, and I insist on this. First, as a government, you need to show that you believe in it. If you continue building your own data centers for your own infrastructure instead of trusting expert companies that do that, local and international, you don't give the right message. That's one thing. Second, make it easier to build.
Make
regulatory
permitting and so on.
Negotiate funds from EU to support you on this. Be proactive in planning where you can support this investment better. Have a team to understand that and work with the local industry, and you have a lot of expertise here. You can see it is a great event, and learn from what they can tell you, and also learn from other countries and what you can do. And we are always here to help.
Ok, Alexandru, thank you very much for your presence here. A fost Alexandru Pekarakis, Managing Director of Digital Realty in Greece. Cam atât a fost ZF Live special de astăzi. O discuție despre data center. Dacă avem noroc și dacă, cum am ascultat aici, guvernul sau cine va veni la Palatul Victoria va fi suficient de înțelept pentru a pune un sistem pentru a atrage investiții foarte mari. Aici discutăm despre investiții imense de miliarde și miliarde de euro sau de dolari. Într-un fel sau altul, tot cu ajutorul AI-ului, tot ne vom duce către acest segment. Ne revedem mâine de la ora 12 la ZF Live. O zi bună în continuare!